Welcome everyone to your favorite podcast, Doctor of Relationships. Today I have a very special guest, Mais Mohammed, a famous TV presenter, entrepreneur, and also a life coach. Mais, pleasure to have you today.
It's my pleasure to be here, Doctor. Unlocking secrets today.
Exactly. Let's jump into business. What's your view on the current scene of dating in Dubai?
Oh, that's a big question. So the dating scene in Dubai has become, in my opinion, of course, I don't like to generalize,
Fair enough.
but very complicated. I would put that in one
The
word.
least to say.
The least to say, very complicated. And I guess for many various reasons. One, the beauty of having a multicultural place, like it's so diverse in terms of how many different cultures we have. It has a pros and cons. You know, mixing cultures is great, but also a man has many options, you know, and the female has many options.
Correct.
And I think the Dubai being a pit stop for many has become also very hard for the dating life here. So for me, I'm looking at it from a girl that's born and raised in the UAE. So this is home to me. This is not a pit stop. I'm not coming here to make some money and then go back to a hometown. This is where I am and I'm not planning to move, you know. So for the ones that come in temporarily, you know, grow their businesses, make their savings and go back home, they don't look for serious commitments. And some they do, you know, which makes it a bit complicated and hard for the dating scene and dating life, especially not only as Dubai being Dubai, but the fact that we're in a time where there's a lot of applications, you know, limitless applications. That today, I mean, I don't know who's loyal.
True.
You know, you just reach out of it like you're ordering a meal back home. Like you're swiping through left and right. So I find it's lost the spark. I don't know. I'm not really with the dating life these days.
You mentioned a very important point, which is the diversity of nationalities in Dubai.
Yeah.
In Dubai, we have like 200 nationalities.
True.
And you being an international citizen, Iraqi that lived in the UK, how do you think this diversity in ethnics and in races is impacting the dating scene in Dubai, positively and negatively?
Positively, the acceptance of cultures. So if you go elsewhere, you know, because the majority of the country is from the same culture, so the same background, same habits, same beliefs. If somebody from a different culture comes in, obviously they have different beliefs, morals, and habits. I wouldn't say they're not welcoming, but the clash is much bigger, you know, because they don't really understand each other. Like, no, we don't do things that way. But because here we're used to accepting other cultures and the variety of it and their habits and beliefs and morals, and you become educated. You start understanding that, oh, this culture treats things this way, and this culture treats things this way. So the combination is beautiful because you get to learn so much from the diversity here. And you get to pick and choose what you'd like to, you know, compromise, apply, integrate into your relationships. And it becomes great, you know. The downside of it is that I think holding on to your own culture and your own morals and backgrounds and beliefs. And I think it's when I see it, I mean, it hasn't happened to me, but when I see it happening with Arabs and non-Arabs, you know, when they mix together, for example, one person from the relationship ends up kind of losing their roots and starts becoming more like, which is still beautiful, but you know, the roots of the Arab culture is very nice as well. And sometimes the opposite. I see that an Arabic girl has taken like a South African guy, for example. And the South African guy becomes totally Iraqi, which is very entertaining.
Yeah. I've seen similar case on social media, by the way.
Yes.
There is this couple that she's an Iraqi woman and the guy is South African.
That's beautiful,
Yeah.
you know, because it's very hard to pick up the Arabic language. Yet again, the Iraqi accent.
Yeah. He did. He
He
did well.
picked up. Yeah, he picked up. I know them. They're a beautiful couple. Allah yahmihum, you know. And it's beautiful when you see that mix. And I think that's why they're famous on social media, because the mix is absolutely beautiful. So of course, everything has its pros and cons, even if you're from the same culture. Like some people, you look at them from the same nationality, same village, you know, and everything is the same and they don't get along.
True.
So I guess it goes back to not the culture, there's this thing that I always repeat in Arabic, الجنسية مش الشخصية. The nationality is not the personality.
True.
So and that's something I kind of learned in the UAE, that the nationality is not the personality. And that's what we learned here. Because when you removed and eliminate that, you start really seeing through that person and you love them for who they are. But it's always beautiful when you merge cultures and not forget them.
True.
So when I see the merge between two couples where they all still hold on to their roots, and I think that's beautiful when they combine it, but not let it go. Yeah.
By the way, based on your personal experience, what's the difference between dating an Arab man versus a non-Arab man? What are the expectations from both types, let's put it that way?
I haven't had the experience, but if I were to say it, because I coach a lot of relationships, so I've seen the ones that have dated Arabs and non-Arabs. Again, generalizing, I do not like to generalize so much. So I know I keep repeating it, but just so that people understand that I don't generalize, I'm just going to give case-to-case study.
Fair.
So, like we said, the cultures go back to the way they think there's certain common things, you know? And within Arabs, they're very different. So if you take a Jordanian versus a Lebanese versus a Saudi versus a Kuwaiti, they're very different, they're men.
True.
You know? Some are more conservative, some are more open-minded, and that still ends up going down to the personality, not the nationality. So if you find a Saudi guy that's been brought up, or not brought up, at least studied abroad in the UK, which is very common, you find a lot of Saudi men that study in the UK, or they come from a family that's a very open-minded family. So they kind of date, you know, from other nationalities. And you have the ones that are really stuck into the bubble of their culture. Like, to the point where I don't even date outside the village or even outside the family, to that point. So it's not the nationality, it depends on where the family, the environment they grew up with. So I think Arabs are, from what I've seen, are more protective over the woman. Like, from what I've noticed, the Arab man is, I'm the man, I'm the provider, you know, I'm the protector, which is beautiful.
Yeah,
you know?
of course. It has its charm.
It has its charm. Yeah.
Whether we accept it, because many women nowadays, it's like that's outdated now. Woman is independent, strong, independent slogan. I feel
لا حبيبتي let him spend, let him spend and take care of me.
Exactly. الدلع.
الدلع. And I think, which unfortunately nowadays I'm starting to see that that's also kind of fading away.
Yeah.
You know, with some Arab men, not all. But that's also starting to be modernized. And you know, you want to be independent. You want
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Let's split the bill.
Exactly.
And you find these memes everywhere, you know, where Arabs versus Europeans or Americans, whatever it is, when they pay the bill.
Yeah, the Arabs, they kill each other.
They kill each other. And the Europeans like, you know, each one pays his part. And I think that's when I see the protectiveness in an Arab man over non-Arab. I'm not going to specify any nationality, just non-Arab, you know, whether to be European, Asian, or American. I know that I can see that part is very strong when it comes to the Arab man. I think the closest ones are Italians. So very similar to the Arab man. But then when I see the ones that are non-Arab, I also see the pros and cons. So I see the pros where they seem a bit more soft, understanding,
easygoing.
Companionship is a bit stronger. Like, they do a lot of activities together. The well-being and wellness is very strong. You know, some of them meditate together. You know, I have a wellness company, so I see a lot of couples coming in, and I rarely see any Arab couples coming in as, you know, usually Arab men, meditation, show meditation. You know,
that's
yoga.
For the boys. Yeah.
No, we don't do yoga. But you know, we do. Again, I don't want to generalize. Some, but the percentage is much less when to see Arab couples as opposed to European couples coming in that do activities together.
But don't you think that's driven by the fact that in general the wellness and well-being culture in the Arab world is weak? As an example, you would see it like for smoking shisha is very common in the Arab world, you know.
True.
Heavy food that's loaded with fat is very common, and it's rooted in the culture. And it's rare to find like the couple where both the man and the woman both that are health conscious and they are, like, to say, crazy about the healthy lifestyle. Maybe that's one of the reasons why nowadays in the Arab world, like, it's rare to find such a couple. Maybe.
True, and it's changing across. And with the time, with the generation, is changing. Which I'm saying, like now, a lot of things are changing. If I look at this generation, it's very different than our parents' generations or even our generation. Wellness has become trending. Doing activities has become trending. We have now fitness months, 30 by 30. So the 30-30 challenge. So I think it's become now more open, more accepted by all cultures. And I think Dubai is the hub for that because of the diversity.
True.
And it goes back to what we were talking about from the beginning of the episode, that this integration between two cultures or variety of cultures has allowed this acceptance that, you know what, I like the way they're doing things. Let's do that. So it's become a lovely mix. But if we were to go back to the question of what's different between them, I think this is the common grounds that I've noticed between these two relationships. That this one, the beautiful part is the protectiveness, the let me spend and take care of you. And the other one is let's be equal. Let's, you pay your side of the rent, I pay my side of the rent. And then if it goes back to a personal choice, a personal choice, I'd love a man to take care of me, It doesn't mean I don't have to work. But it's just that it should be a choice and not a must.
That's one part. Second, like personally, I believe a woman will feel really feminine the moment she feels the masculinity of the man next to her.
100%. And this is, I think, one of the biggest relationship problems everywhere in the world is that they're mixing up who's wearing the pants in the relationship.
100%. And personally, I have a theory, and I know it's going to be very controversial. But I think that's driven by the food and the impact of the food on the testosterone levels of men in general. Because I've read a study recently, it seems that over the last 10 to 15 years, on a general population level, the percentages of testosterone dropped by 20%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So in my humble view, I think definitely that had an impact on the personalities of men and the way they exercise even that masculinity. Again, I'm not a scientist in that area, but just creating a correlation between both.
Everything is possible, of course. I think, also, you see a lot of relationships that are working out perfectly fine. Woman is very successful. She's independent, high-ranked in the society, high-paid job, sometimes even getting paid more than the man gets paid. Yet the relationship is working out perfectly fine, and they don't have any problems between the masculine and feminine energy. Why? Because when she's in the environment of her work, where she requires to wear the pants, because certain roles, certain environments, certain places, you're required. And when I say wear the pants, it's a metaphorical saying.
Yeah.
It's about, we're talking about masculine energy in terms of
exercising the power and authority.
100%. Authority, power, and that's there when it comes to feminine. It's not that it's not there, but it's there and different. And then when she steps into the house, she should be able to wear the skirt at that point. Wearing the skirt means not weak. She's still strong. She's still the woman that carries the household, But she's also the one that still asks her husband for her or her partner for his opinion. And these days I've noticed that a lot of relationship problems is because people just take decisions without even asking for opinions, not permission, but opinions.
100%.
It's like, just ask him what he thinks. The man gets charged by that. That's how the masculine energy gets charged. Like, even though you know what your decision is, but if you ask him what do you think about it, makes a big difference. When you ask him about his day, without nagging on top of his head, makes a big difference. So I think this the thin line between being independent and being the man of the house has caused a little bit of relationship problems.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Now, based on your personal preferences, let's put it that way, Mais, what do you expect from a man or from a relationship? What are the criteria that you look for in a man?
Brains.
I like that.
So the reason I say brain, all I want is a brain. With the man that
all exes. It seemed that she didn't get what she was looking for previously.
Oh God! But if we look at it this way, when I say brains, I feel like I don't care about looks, because looks.
You seriously don't care about the looks?
I'll tell you why. for the famous Arabic saying, القرد بعيون أمه غزال.
أي.
Okay, which means the monkey and the eyes of the mom is a deer. It sounds
Correct.
funny when you say it in
Yeah,
English.
yeah, exactly.
And what it and the exact definition of that saying is perception is everything. So if you look back at your relationships as a child or in your teenage or even current day, you'll realize, and this is everybody's perception of relationships, at the time that they're in a relationship, they look at that individual as Miss World or
The most beautiful person on the planet.
Exactly.
I fully
the
understand
most
what
beautiful
you're saying.
person on the planet. And the minute there's an argument, somehow it's like, oh my God, he was so ugly. What was I doing with him? But he hasn't changed. His cheekbones are still the same. His eyes are still the same. Everything is still the same. But somehow he's very ugly.
Yeah.
So perception is projection. What you see, you start projecting. When you see this beautiful human being, you see him as the most beautiful man in the world or the most beautiful woman in the world. But the minute your perception changes towards them, you see them very ugly, which is why I tell you looks don't matter to me, because I know that when I fall in love with that person, I know they're going to look beautiful. So I never judge a book by its cover.
Very interesting answer, actually.
When I see someone, I go, "Ah, he's not my type." No, I don't say he's not my type because of what he looks like. Let him speak. And the other way applies as well. You'll find him the most gorgeous man. I'm like, and the minute he opens his mouth, I'm like, oh God, please no, you know? And either egotistic or very shallow, you know, when they speak. And, you know, some of these people, you can pick it up from the first couple of sentences. And some take time to show it.
True.
You know, like narcissists take a lot of time to show that they're narcissists. You don't pick it up at the beginning. So I guess if it was my preference, I would really get to know the mind of the person, their programming, their likes, their dislikes, their beliefs, how they think. And if that aligns, you know, with my morals, my beliefs, my programming, which of course nothing aligns 100%. It's about coming to common grounds where I know that if something goes wrong, a problem were to happen, I'd be able to solve this problem or depend on this partner to solve it maturely, you know, have a good conversation, fix it, and not deal with a psychopath, you know, that keeps walking away or that's aggressive or whatever it is, you know. So for me, it's all about maturity, brains, and being open to also growing and changing, not locked in comfort zone.
Interesting. Very interesting answer.
Yeah.
I have a question, actually, because you just mentioned the narcissist character.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot about it. And honestly, I feel there's a confusion in society between people who are focused on themselves, successful, that are being called as narcissists because they are so much determined and focused on their goals. I'll be very honest with you. In many occasions, I have been called as narcissist.
Really?
Yeah. Because like determined, focused on my goals, my fitness, my career. So you are a narcissist because you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4.
But that's definitely not a narcissist.
So I would like to hear from you, what's a narcissist?
No, a narcissist is something completely different than that. He's not he could be goal-driven, but that's not related to a narcissist. A narcissist is an egotistic maniac, put it that way. What a narcissist does is, gradually, if I were to take it as a man being a narcissist, because women can be as well.
Okay.
So I'm giving an example in this case. So he would make a woman feel like she is everything. She is the princess, the queen, everything. She's like everything she wants to feel, you know? And then when she gets really, attached and driven into his emotions, the control starts beginning and trying to shatter her down. So what a narcissist does is he will always make her feel like she's not good enough, and she's always wrong, and somehow she really does feel like she's always mistaken, and she feels like and makes sure somehow he turns the table. Genius, like when I say psychopath, because psychopaths are geniuses. If you think of a maniac, he will turn the tables, figure out a way to make it seem like you are 100% wrong, even though he's in wrong 100%. He would still make it seem with confidence, that you are wrong, you are not worthy, you should be doing everything the way I want. You speak to me when I want. We solve the problem when I want. So it's a combination of a control freak and at the same time egotistic and shattering the person's personality. but only after he knows the weak points, the weak spots. So he finds the weak spots of the girl. Like he knows, like, for example, she's a little insecure about her weight or her looks. He would literally use the opportunity and tell her, like, listen,
God,
you've gained so
that's
much
so
weight, you're
harsh.
fat, you know. I like girls that are skinny. I like girls that are like that. And when he gives you love, he gives you extreme. So an extremist at the same time. Extreme hate and extreme love. It's very confusing being with a narcissist, very toxic. So it's not something goal-driven. It has nothing to do with a career. It is purely on a mental, emotional state. And it's extremely draining, honestly, because it takes time for a person to figure out that this person is a narcissist. Because if they're in love, you know, and especially, like I said, he's an extremist. So at the days that the days are good, he's phenomenal. You know, he's Prince Charming. And he gives you this perfect image of what kind of man that you dreamt he would be, you know? And then all of a sudden, like a mini argument ticks in and the world goes black.
Wow.
And yeah, definitely egotistic.
Honestly, a very interesting answer. I didn't know that. But,
Yeah.
and
And a lot more goes into it of a narcissist. I mean, I've, you know, crossed paths with many narcissists, but never really dove into it. I mean, I do know a lot of people that have unfortunately married narcissists and figured out a bit later into the marriage.
I'll be honest with you, you were speaking and a previous experience was coming to my head. Like, I didn't know that that woman was a narcissist, but I think given the way you describe it, I think she
Yes.
ticks the boxes.
Yeah. And you feel like, what have I done wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and you start wondering, like, oh my God, like, should I change? What have I done wrong? I'm not good enough. And
And you feel
especially
your energy is drained.
100%. They're emotional vampires.
Yeah. And you and it impacts definitely your career progress because they don't care whether they screw your mood tonight and tomorrow morning you have a big day.
Oh,
They
yeah, yeah.
don't care. Like,
Extremely selfish. They only care about themselves. So the combination of every single horrible characteristic is in a narcissist.
wow.
Egotistic, selfish, extremist. You know, put them all together, you have a narcissist. You know, and some of them get physical as well.
Oof.
You know, some, not all, but some can get physical. They can.
I think she slapped me once.
Different when a man gets physical with a female. So it's an eye opener because some people will take a moment right now and think, have I been with a narcissist and I didn't realize, or am I currently with a narcissist and I don't know yet?
Yeah.
But this moment made me realize that, oh my God, I think it is. And I think people should never, ever, in any relationship, allow the partner, or even not only partner, in a relationship at work, manager, colleagues, whoever it is, allow their opinion of you become a belief of your own. Because that is what's going to kill you. If people can share their opinion all they want, it's like a dog barking. But if you don't take that opinion and you become its belief, it's just a dog barking. But the minute you make it your own belief, that's when the dog bites. So it's very risky. And I think people need to
Be
kind of
very
think about their
cautious
beliefs
about
and
it.
go back and think, what do I believe about myself?
Mes, I'm going to ask you the most controversial question I ask you in a podcast.
Yeah.
How much a man needs to make for him to date you?
$7 billion.
Yeah.
No. I'll tell you something. Reality.
Reality.
Okay, I'm not the kind of girl that I'll live on the famous saying in Arabic again, khibz wa zaytoon, which is bread and olives.
Yeah,
No,
let's be real, yeah.
let's be realistic. You know, I'm not 16 anymore. I am not living that fairy tale that I don't care about money. Security is a big part of a man that I decide to marry, especially because he's planning to maybe the father of our children. We're building a home. We're building a so. I think minimum is enough. Minimum security.
Which is?
I think minimum is enough to. You mean you want an exact figure?
Yeah, one figure. Yeah, like the rough figure. We're not going to take it religiously because I need
How
a
much he
number.
makes a month?
Yeah.
What I would really like, or what would be enough?
Let's mention both.
What I would like, feel like, because it's comfortable, we don't have to worry anymore. I think 70 to 150,000 dirhams a month
Okay.
is a very lovely, like comfortable, secure life, you
Yeah.
know. But if he makes 20,000, it doesn't mean I won't marry him.
Oh, wow.
There's a big difference. What I would like and what I would accept. So I would still accept 15,000, 20,000 under the condition, because if I would accept this man, I would know that this man is a man that is goal driven, because I love goal driven people, and career oriented and likes to grow. So even if he was getting 10,000 dirhams or 15,000 dirhams, if I chose this man and I know my choices, I know that this man is going to grow and I'm happy to grow with him.
Guys, that's a wise woman, believe me.
Yeah. But if he already had 70 to 100,000, I mean, I'm not going to complain.
Exactly. He made it.
You know, because again, it's not like I'm 16, you know, I'm at an age where if I choose a man, probably he would have been at some point in his career where he's already there. He's not still growing. But yeah.
There's a general trend in the world and Dubai in particular. Women are asking for more and more in a relationship. Their list of requirements is getting more and more extensive. However, you rarely hear a woman talking about what she's going to bring to the table, how she's going to add to the life of a man. The whole concentration is on, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, and the list now is reaching, let's say, 100 items. What do you think of that?
Again, I think it's for the girl to go back and look into herself. Because the minute she attaches the list to materialistic stuff, is it trying to fill some hole inside of her? You know, as if it is, that list is never going to end. He's going to keep adding and adding and adding, and she's still going to feel empty on the inside. But if that list is because, you know, she wants a house with a backyard, a dog, a pool, you know, because she knows he has, and she knows that this will add happiness to both of them, because at the end of the day, he's living there as well.
Of course.
You know, so it's just like she has good taste, pretty much that way. So she's kind of looking out. You know, they tell you a woman's touch in the house is always, you can tell, because she adds that lovely touch.
100%.
So if that list contributes to the happiness to both of them, I think it's okay. But when it comes to a selfish list, where it's like diamond ring, Chanel bag, Dior, you know, it has nothing to do with him. Like, he will not enjoy it whatsoever. Then I think that that's a girl really needs to look inside of her and see what's the true definition of happiness for you. And then some men really don't complain because they go like, happy wife, happy life, you know.
Yeah.
Let me get her the bag and then I'll be happy. But then again, I think that the list shouldn't be there at all. It shouldn't exist. I feel like you should be happy without a list, and he should be happy without a list, because happiness comes from the inside, not with a list. And then sharing that happiness becomes happiness that's much bigger. And then that list can be done together. The list of what both of you like, you know, and what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Sharing opinions and not kind of commanding. I want this, you know. It's not like you're grocery shopping. But then again, some men don't like that. Some men like a woman that tells him, listen, I want 1, 2, 3. He likes spoiling her. So I guess it goes back to an individual kind of person. Like each person is different.
I agree with you. In general, I think there is a general two schools of thought when it comes to the luxury life.
Yeah.
You have the objects-driven school of thought and the experience-driven school of thought. Yeah. Like you would, particularly on social media, you would find all of those influencers showing off wealth, cars, watches, so on and so forth. I believe that personally, that's something that will bring you only instant happiness the moment you buy the object. Let's say you bought your first luxury watch, you got happy, the second one less, third less, fourth maybe you're not going to feel anything when you buy it. As opposed to the other school of thought that's focused on experiences, traveling, going to nice hotels, traveling, let's say, business class. Look, even cars. For me, a car, although I'm not a cars person, but I consider a car as an experience, not as an object, because the luxury it gives you, the comfort that it gives you when it takes you from one place to another, it adds to your lifestyle, to the value of your lifestyle. I think the problem when the person is focused on the objects, whether that's a man or a woman, I think this is where things becomes like so objective, so materialistic, and so hollow inside. When they both work together on enjoying experiences that they both like, let's say traveling to Maldives, like going sports, going to, I don't know, crazy trips, I think definitely that's something so much fun for both.
Of course, they're making memories.
Exactly.
And memories are forever.
Exactly.
You know, they're creating moments and memories. A lot of people, you'll notice, and this is something I can generalize on, finally, super rich, but super sad.
True.
Or they feel like they're empty, they don't have anything. And the ones that are not, modest, not rich, they go like, oh no, I want money. So it's like nobody's really pleased with what they have. And I think if they work on that, if they work on being pleased and having gratitude and really living the moment and experiencing life, not just existing in it, so you're actually living it, it makes a whole difference. It doesn't matter at the end of the day whether you have 10 dirhams or 10 million dirhams or 10 billion dirhams. It doesn't make a difference because you're happy no matter what. You're not attaching your happiness to money, materialistic objects, or anything in that case. You're attaching your happiness to experiences,
True.
moments.
Do you think social media has a negative impact today on the general dating scene? And I'll tell you why I think it's impacting negatively more the women's side more than the men's side. Obviously, the influencers, they show off wealth, and what people don't know that most of them, they are being sponsored by certain brands, and that's why they're wearing their stuff. That's one. Second, men by nature, they're more flirtatious than women. And a woman on social media is getting, let's say, consistent messages from men, flirtatious. The intention is not necessary to have a relationship. Maybe they're looking for one night stand. But given the fact that her ego is being fueled with those comments, she can be 5/10. In her brain, she's 9/10. So she starts looking for a 9/10 man wherever she's still a 5. And that creates a mismatch between the illusion in her head and the reality. Don't you think that's something that's impacting substantially our society nowadays?
Well, I do think it's impacting substantially, but for different reasons. I don't think I agree with that one. Specifically what I don't agree about is the numbering. Let's stick to that one. 5 out of 10, 9 out of 10. And I'll tell you why.
That's a male thing.
No, we also scale out of 10.
Really?
Yeah, of course. Like we give them, sometimes we play the game. Let's scale them out of 10, the ones crossing by. It's 6, 7, for fun. But reality is, it goes back to the point, remember when I told you perception is projection?
Yeah.
What could be a 9 out of 10 for me is a 2 out of 10 for you. Yeah. So this woman that you just said is a 5 out of 10 could be a 10 out of 10 for another man. And we see a lot, whether on social media and reality. It's like, that girl is with that guy.
Yeah.
It's like, what did he see in her? Or
Exactly.
what did she see in him? Like, he's too good for her or she's too good for him. But the way they see each other is a 10 out of 10. So this is why I disagree about the numbers, because the numbers is what you're giving out of your head, but not really what they're giving out of their head. So nobody's right, but feel free to share numbers, feel free to give it a 5 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. But definitely in terms of problems, social media, 100%. Why? Because the good old days, how did people meet? There was no social media. Yeah. So you would see a beautiful girl in your eyes, in your perception, sitting in a cafe or going to university or going to work, whatever it is, and trying to reach to her, to talk to her. That challenge, that beauty, that gave you that rush, the adrenaline that rushes through, sometimes we even go back to letters before text messages, and getting there and that weight gave it that spark, gave it that beauty. Today, it's a magazine. It is available everywhere. There's no chase, there's no challenge, there's no effort.
True.
The only effort you have is typing to get into the inbox. And guess what? You'll probably get a reply.
Yeah.
Because after 50 messages, probably you'll convert one. It's just a sales.
Leads conversion.
Leads conversion, it's exactly the same thing. And it's sorry to say, but unfortunately, social media, yes, has brought us closer, but it's also torn us apart. In terms of, it's torn this beautiful spark where we used to be anxious in a beautiful way and wait. And even when we first started getting phone calls, we used to be waiting for that text message, waiting for that call. Now, good if you get a WhatsApp. Yeah. Or a voice note, a quick voice note, because calls are not important anymore.
True.
And I get the attention span is at 30 seconds, but come on, put some effort if you're getting into a relationship. And I think social media has really damaged that. Because today he sees a 10 out of 10 in his perception, or a 9 out of 10, put it that way. And he sees, wow, this girl's a 9 out of 10. And just one scroll down. Oh, look, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Another scroll down. Oh, but wait, I give her an 11. And one scroll down, it's like, I see where it's hard for the guy, and also the woman faces the same thing. She goes like, okay, no, but this one, but this one, but this one. It's like you're going into a candy store and you don't know what to pick. You have too many options. And I think that's, as beautiful as it is, but it's damaging.
100%, particularly with the mindset in a relationship. Because now, men or women, when they enter a relationship, particularly if they have options, they have almost no patience. Like on the very first argument, let's move on. Next.
Oh, yes, 100%.
I have a lot of them. Yeah. So because you are an entrepreneur, and the best thing when you are an entrepreneur, when you are committing to a plan, is to have no plan B. Like that's your plan, and you give all your effort to make it work. The moment in the back of your mind you have a plan B, even in business, then you're not giving your 100%. Yeah. The same logic applies in a relationship.
I agree. And this is a common problem we're facing today. Look at the divorce rate.
Yeah.
It's not only about dating, it's about the divorce. Get married, week later, month later. Some people, couple of days later. I'm like, really?
Wow.
And it's funny because I even see the people that have been dating for 5-6 years, and the minute they sign a paper, come on, it's just a paper. Some of them even live with each other.
Yeah.
So some things I don't really understand. Like, you're living with them. Like, you're living the married life.
Exactly.
And the minute you sign this paper, that didn't change anything. It's just a paper you signed. But I think it's that the back of the subconscious mind, they know that they're tied. A month later, they get divorced.
Wow. That's insane.
Celebrities happen with them too.
Wow.
So I don't know. I mean, it's people, yes, are picking up and leaving. And I think that plays the role of many aspects. One, social media, dating apps, having a choice, everywhere. Going out. I mean, girls these days are quite shocking. I used to be, everyone actually, we were used to the guy approaching the girl. Like, this has always been the norm. Pretty girl, and even stories and movies, she's sitting having coffee, a guy approaches her, whether putting a note or whether saying something nice or flirting with her, and she smiles, and the story begins. But today, it doesn't matter. Women are sharks.
True.
The man would be with his woman, another woman would approach him. She doesn't even care. You're a woman, she doesn't care. She will approach, she will try, and she will snatch. So it's become like, do I even want to be in a relationship? This is kind of exhausting. It's like you're in a competition of
continuous competition.
Yeah, so it's like you're kind of looking
Games.
over. Hunger. You're looking over your shoulder, like, stay away from my man, and even the ratio between men and women. There's a lot more women than men.
Yeah.
So I get it, and a man feels this. It's like,
the
ratio on humankind needs me, let's say, put it this way, I miss the old days.
Yeah.
I know. I wish I was this age back then.
I have a question. Given your experience as a life coach, obviously without mentioning names, but tell me a story, one of the most awkward stories that you have ever heard as a life coach from a dating perspective.
Not marriage, dating.
Marriage, dating, whatever.
Oh, so many stories I have. Let me think of one that's very awkward. Okay. This one, honestly, when they came to me, I really thought it was a joke.
Oof.
Like, to that point. It wasn't awkward. It was just like, are you kidding me? So they were a married couple. And they came and they sat down. Literally, the way they were looking at each other, they were going to tear each other apart. They could not stand each other. So I said, okay, we'll take it one by one. And when the person speaks, the other one doesn't interrupt. I know you have that urge where it goes like, no, that's not true. So I said, let's start with the female, and then we'll go to the male. So I said, what's your problem? And she says, I can't handle him anymore. I can't. Every time he opens the Coke bottle, I tell him that I don't like the sound of the fizz and the spark, and it bothers me. And he still insists on drinking Coke and opening a Coke bottle. And I said, yes. And what does he do? Does he hit you with it? Or does he throw the Coke on you? She said, no, I don't like the sound of it. And I don't like the sound of him brushing his teeth, and I still hear him every night brushing his teeth. So I said, but wait, don't you brush your teeth? She said, yeah, but I put earplugs on. I don't like the sound of brushing teeth. So I said, okay. And they've been married for a year. So, the hardest time is the first year of marriage. I said, what else? She's like, and when he walks, I don't like the sound of his slippers.
Oh my God.
So I'm looking at him like, okay, what else? And he's just looking at me like this. And he could see that my facial expression is just like, okay, and what else did she tell me? Oh, and when he eats, I don't like the sound of him chewing his food. And I said, does he chew his food with his mouth open? She said, no, his mouth is closed. I said, well, then what are you hearing really? It's like, it's not, his mouth is closed. So, and she's like, no, but I can hear chewing food. I'm like, can you hear your own food when you chew it? She said, well, no, I try not to focus on it. So I paused and I looked at him. I'm like, I'm sorry, what is your problem? I mean, we kind of heard her out. And he looks at me, he's like, if you didn't figure that out, I don't know what I'm doing here. And I just bursted laughing. And I'm like, no, I got you. I understand. I'm like, do you have any other problem than the one that's quite obvious, And he said, my problem is that I love her and I don't want to let her go.
Wow.
And
That's
she's
sweet.
making it impossible. And I said, really? Yeah, she is. And I realized, I told her, listen, the problem is with you. And you're not going to be able to live with anyone in that case. So we need to do individual sessions, you and I, and to solve that problem. And if you want to solve it, then yeah, I can get rid of that annoying feeling you have, or help you get rid of it. And that way you'd be able to accept him eating, walking, brushing his teeth, doing normal stuff, normal human things. And she just didn't accept. She said, I want a divorce.
Ooh.
She did not accept. She didn't want to change.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's insane.
And they got a divorce.
Oh my God.
She just didn't. I told him, I said, listen, either you accept her the way she is and live with it, because I can't change her. Unless she decides she wants to change, I cannot change her. But I found that very weird. Like, I mean, I get it. People have, sometimes, they don't like the click or cracking fingers. These are small things.
Exactly.
If you leave like hair on the sink, you get through this in marriage. But down to that detail of opening a can,
Come on.
chewing your
Brushing
food,
your teeth.
brushing your teeth,
Come on.
walking. It's like she's made it impossible. And which is still possible to change, but she didn't want to change. So yeah, these are one of the many weird stories you hear. Yeah.
Do you believe in friendship between men and women?
I do, because I have a lot of male friends, a lot.
Do you believe there should be some kind of boundaries or conditions for the friendship to work?
Definitely, because if there's no boundaries, it's just an excuse for them to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, who told me once? He said, there's no such thing as a man and a woman being friends.
Yeah.
It is only temporary until they end up having a sexual encounter or chemistry or whatever it is. It's basically a ticking bomb.
Yeah.
Until. So I disagreed with that point because, I've had friends for decades. And he said, yeah, well, I said ticking bomb. It could be 22 decades, 3 decades. But I don't know. I feel like the minute like you said, you put boundaries and you can build beautiful friendships. And I have male friends that are backbones. I call them brothers, and the level of comfort between us is absolutely amazing, They feel comfortable to be in their man cave when I'm around. Usually men are not comfortable being in their man cave when a woman's around.
True.
And I think building that relationship mainly goes back to the sport that I play, the backgammon sport. The percentage of men are higher than women in the sport. And it's really men driven. So it's a club, and we've been playing for over a decade and we've become a family. So I know that the guys that I play or the men that I play with at the Backgammons Club, I know that today, if any guy approached me to even think of taking me out on a date or even had interest in me, he would have to go through these 15 men, because... Filtering process, like, because I know how overprotective they are and how they're looking out for me genuinely and how they have no agenda there.
Yeah.
Like no sexual agenda. and I know that, I have that gut feeling inside of me. But there are there's the other parts, where, like the other guy said, it's just a ticking bomb until something happens.
Did it ever happen that you had a friend, male friend, and he made the move in the right moment?
I don't think it was right moments,
No.
but
In a moment, let's put it that way.
I believe all good relationships start as friendship.
Yeah.
If the base is friendship, then you have a good relationship there. And if the base isn't friendship, it might be a problem. Because you start loving each other for maybe the wrong reasons. Looks, which are, it's not the right reasons of falling in love.
Of course. You're going to get used to the look after a few weeks, few months max.
So I've had friends that are very good friends that later on, well, not say friends, maybe one or two, we were very, very, very good friends. And then later on, emotions got built. But it didn't go past that. It's we stayed friends. Like, I didn't want to take it past that. And there were a lot of complications. So yeah, it's sometimes, even if everything checks the box, but there are certain things that are deal breakers. So deal breakers, I'd rather leave the friendship than ruin the entire friendship. Yeah, so definitely it's happened to a lot of people, for sure.
I'm sure.
I mean, around me, yes, I've seen a lot of friends that start off friends, had emotions, and ended up being together. And
yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
It's very common.
it's very common. Yeah.
Mas, given the fact that you are a famous TV presenter and you are also a successful businesswoman, do you think this impacted positively or negatively your dating life?
I don't have a dating life. So I don't know.
Here you go. Why you don't have a dating life?
I don't know. I don't want to blame it on them. I mean, thank you for calling me famous. Not a lot of people know me on the street. A lot of people know me on social media, for sure. I don't know if it's a TV or if it's the media. I don't want to attach it to that, honestly, because I never heard it as a reason. Like, oh, you're on TV, I don't want to date you. Like, I never really heard it on TV. But I really think it's the fact that, like I told you, I'm born and raised here. So this is my home. So it's not a pit stop for me. I'm not here to date, have fun, and leave. I'm here to stay, and I'm here to eventually build a family and build a home. So I feel like maybe the reason why I don't have a dating life is because it's very obvious that I'm a committed lady. And I'm not here to play. I'm not here to get married tomorrow, but I'm not here to play. Obviously, I need to get to know the guy as well.
Of course.
But getting to know the guy from the beginning, it's very obvious that I'm not getting to know you to have fun for a few weeks. I'm getting to know you for the long run. We might get together, we might not, but that's the part of
the intention.
The intention is, if it works out, we stay. But not the intention that, let's see where it goes, let's see where the ocean takes us. No, I'd like to know my destination. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to end up there. So without me verbally saying that, I've heard it a few times from a lot of people around me. They say it kind of shows. You have that energy on you that says, don't mess with me. Even though I'm kind, I'm smiley, I'm very social. But I think it shows. Like, it's, I don't play around. And like I said, it's become very competitive these days. And a lot of men are, for various reasons, are either afraid of commitment, or they've come out of divorce and they don't want to do the same mistake twice.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Or they're here to have fun, or there are many reasons. So I guess for a very, very long time, I still didn't, our paths haven't crossed for the man that we've met, where we were aligned in terms of, I want something serious, you want something serious. So that's why I don't have a dating life, because that hasn't happened yet. And I don't think I'll find that on a dating app. A lot of people tell me go on dating apps, but even that didn't really succeed.
No, I think it's a very, very bad idea. Look, again, I have nothing against people that are using it. I know many people, they are getting married through those apps.
True.
But personally, it's so hollow, like, to pick up a person from an app and go out with him. And
I mean, yeah, I don't know, because I see people, like you said, getting married from it. But at the back of my head, I would always wonder, if you opened the app and did a profile, would you do it again?
yeah,
Even if I'm with you.
yeah,
I'm the kind of person that would think that.
yeah.
But I really do have friends that are happily married through an app. So it gets you wondering, like, what is right? Yeah, what is wrong? And for me, I don't put too much effort into it. Like, I don't seek it. Go on an app, try to find that partner. I allow life to bring things when they're meant to be.
I think that's the charm of love. That's exactly it. Look, you are a socially active lady. Okay? So you are going around, you know many people in the country, you socialize a lot. So the chances of meeting someone is there. And basically, let's say the high caliber man, at some point in time, they're going to cross paths with you, given the context in which you're putting yourself. So I don't think there is a need for someone like, particularly under those conditions, to look for an app and God knows who's the other person on the other side of the screen. Just take it easy, don't chase it. It will come at the right time. Just put yourself in the right context and the right thing is going to happen to you.
I agree 100%. Mohammed, I'm the type of girl that lives each day like it's my last and plans like I'm going to live infinity forever. So for me, it's about really, that's why I'm not on any dating apps and I'm not seeking. For me, it's like, let me just live the moment today, enjoy and do the things that I love, grow my business. And if any added happiness comes along the way, fantastic. But if it's not there, it doesn't mean I'm not happy. I am fulfilled. I am grateful. I have gratitude. And I am happy as I am. So I feel like people that are on dating apps are seeking to complete their happiness or add a little more happiness or they're seeking something. There's a lot of girls I see out there that don't know how to be alone.
True.
And that's a big problem.
100%. For me, that's my major problem with the overall concept of dating, not just in Dubai, in the world. The two person, they need to complement each other. No one needs to complement anyone. She should be happy. I should be happy. Like, we become happier together.
Exactly.
I wasn't born to achieve her dreams or realize her dreams. And she's not born to realize mine. But together we can put in new goals, new dreams, and we achieve it together.
Exactly.
I think, the problem is that most of the people, they don't understand this. And don't get me wrong, maybe because I'm a man, I'm saying this. I see with women in particular, and Arab women in particular, they have this problem.
Oh, no, it's not only Arab. It's all women.
Yeah.
All nationalities here. They, and no, I'm sorry, again, I don't mean to say all women, but definitely all nationalities. The minute they feel like they have this hole inside and they want to fill it by giving the responsibility of a man, you have to make me happy.
Yeah.
Or he's not making me happy. It's not his job. He cannot physically go into your brain and produce endorphins or dopamine or oxytocin. That is being produced within you, by you, and only you. The only thing the man can do is an action. How you perceive that action is going to produce that hormone. So even his action is pointless.
True.
Like today, a random person on the road can give me a rose. I'll smile, sweet, produce a little level, kind of small percentage of endorphins. Someone that I really love gets me a rose. Oxytocin, dopamine, endorphins, same action, yeah? But the way I analyzed it is very different. So you cannot expect a man or whoever it is to make you happy. That is all on you. So I feel like the minute a male or female, this applies to both, understand that you're the one that produces that hormone. Your perception and your meaning-making process of people's actions, your meaning-making process is what produces your hormones. You start understanding that when I make a meaning out of life that is fantastic, I can live it in pure love and joy every day. But when I make a meaning that is, he doesn't care about me, he doesn't think about me, he didn't call me today because he's not thinking about me, obviously I'm going to produce high levels of cortisol.
Of course.
And the same thing applies to the men.
True.
I wonder who she's with. I wonder where she's going out. I don't know why she's like this. She's nagging on top of my head. You're producing high levels of cortisol. So it's one small thing, but when you apply it, it's like the key to a happy relationship. When you're not dependent on each other to make each other happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you now rapid questions, and you tell me if that attitude or action, you consider it as cheating or no.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Liking another girl's post.
No.
Okay. Replying or engaging with flirty messages or comments.
Engaging, he's flirting?
No. let's say the lady is flirting with him and he responds back.
Yeah, but how does he respond?
Like, thank you, I appreciate your comments, stuff like that.
No.
Okay.
But if it's flirting back, then it's yes.
Following women that the man doesn't know in real life.
No,
That's fine.
it's fine.
Going on a dating app to see what's out there.
No, that's definitely cheating.
Complimenting a woman online.
It's not cheating. I guess it depends on the compliment itself. Like you're smoking hot is not not gonna it's not gonna pass, you know. But if he says really like what you're talking about or loved your content, you know, there's a compliment and a compliment. So
that's fair.
To be fair, like it depends on the compliment. If
Yeah.
it's not a sexual compliment, then definitely it's not cheating. If it's a compliment that you know, I had people that I knew that used to comment on a lot of girl photos, but they were relative to their content. Like, my God, your fight was amazing, or your show was amazing. Yeah, it's fine. Compliment all you want. I mean, I would even support that woman. But when it goes like, the way you look is beautiful and gorgeous and stunning, I can't take my eyes off of you, is a whole different story.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
What advice you would give to your younger self when it comes to relationships and dating?
Oh, the advice I would give my younger self is don't seek, it shall come. And I think because when I was younger, I was like, when am I going to get married? When am I going to get married? You know, because I was young and I was excited and I want to build a family. And it was really like a goal-driven kind of thing that I had.
Wow.
And I would definitely tell my younger self, be patient. You have a lot of beautiful things ahead of you in terms of your career, and your biggest relationship is with yourself. And once you find that, which I ended up finding that relationship with myself, you'll be able to create a beautiful relationship whenever the time is right with the right person. So I think that's what I tell my younger self.
Last question. What advice you would give for people that are looking for relationships in Dubai?
To remove the mindset that it's hard to find a relationship in Dubai. This is key. Oh, Dubai, it's hard to find a relationship. No. It's just a country. The country has nothing to do with relationships. If anything, you have more diversity and more variety. Yes, the competition is higher, but you're not in the right places. If you're on dating apps, you're going to get the caliber of dating apps. If you're in a bar, you're going to get the caliber of a bar. Yeah.
That's gold.
So put yourself in the environment that you would like that person to be in. If you're seeking an entrepreneur, a millionaire, whatever it is, caliber. Like there are women that are very driven towards, I need a guy that has a lot of money. You know, this is what I want, which is fine. It's her. It's what she likes. So maybe sitting in arts club, you know, maybe joining a cycling class, communities that have that caliber of people.
Makes sense.
But when people go and sit in bars and sit in common places, and then they complain, oh, it's very hard to date in Dubai. Well, maybe you're in the wrong place.
True.
Not the wrong country. So remove that mindset and surround yourself in the correct environment. And even if it takes a decade, you know, eventually the right person will come along.
100%.
I think being kind and open and true to yourself, you'll end up finding the person that matches you.
I fully agree.
Yeah.
Mais, it was a pleasure having you today. Honestly, I enjoyed it a lot.
Pleasure is mine.
And I learned a lot, I'll be honest. So thank you very much and stay tuned for the upcoming episodes.